think. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I worked on the cover, and there's a very significant bird on the front. Everyone who's
Yeah.
watching, go to Amazon, Inner Life Writes Denise James, and you'll see what is the significance of that particular bird being on the cover.
Okay, that's the Sankofa bird. From a it's a mythology bird from Ghana, and it's really about. I mean, as a therapist, it's always about looking back, to understand the situations of our life today and the patterns that we pick up, and that gets in the way of our journey forward. The Sankofa bird it's talking about that same looking back to move forward, but it's more from a collective viewpoint. So my book is also talking about the Black community and our continued healing. And like I said, coming out of COVID and George Floyd, um, I think Inner Life has something to write and say about that, how we can move together, not just personally and collectively. We have to do the both. We can't just do one without the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the Sankofa bird teaches us about looking back in history to learn to move
Yeah.
forward. Yeah, so there's a
And that,
personal historical, in
yeah.
which my first part of the book talks about, and then there's a collective historical.
Yeah, I was just going to say that leads into the parts of the book. Part one being personal historical, part two is psychosocial. Um,
Mm.
what was the choice to lay the book out in these parts in regards to its overall message?
Yeah, because I think the overall message is, like I said in the beginning, it's about understanding the inner world and the inner life, and then
Hmm.
how do we kind of bring that through into real life, or so-called real life.
Hmm.
And those categories are about, like I said, it's about, I want the message to be about, us as individuals, us as a people, Black people, so the message is for Black people as well, and then us as a race, the human race, so that collective as well. Um, yeah, and the things that can go wrong in those areas, and how we can heal that, because there's healing out there,
Hmm.
but we
And
really have to get clear on what the problem is.
well, like jumping into part three, there's a section called On Turning to Love, which I believe is definitely a nod or a clear part two of your first book, Back to Love.
Mm.